Howdy, everybody. Here we are again. This is 9/3, 10/3, 11/3. So this is the fourth session. Had to stop and think about that. It's the fourth session of our World Card Making Day action. Whoops. Stop and think about that. It's the fourth Turn down that volume. Sorry about that. I was watching Elizabeth's video in between sessions and had to turn up the volume so I could hear her, but need to turn it back down because I don't need to hear myself twice. All right, so it's beginning to look a little bit like Christmas. Not a lot. I'm working on it. So we're going to make a fun fold card in this session, and we're going to be featuring Old Olive and Poppy Parade, two of my favorite colors, together. I really like Old Olive. It's a really nice, soft green. I don't know who Mira Jenkins is, but welcome to the game. And I like Old Olive because it is a nice, soft color, and it's a real good I almost consider it to be a neutral. And then of course Poppy Parade, because it does in fact pop. So let me say again, welcome to World Card Making Day, and I am on this all day with my friend Elizabeth from Spread Joy Stamping. You are at Dream in Colors SU, and my name is Virginia, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Arkansas. So today we're featuring a number of different items, but I'm trying to concentrate on using some of the Designer Series paper, which is our printed paper that is in sale, that gives you a 15% discount on 15 sets through the month. Now, if you see something you like and you want to know more about it, please reach out to me. If you want to order, please go to dreamincolor72207.com, and that will link you to my online store. And this is the host code 67TB7YR9. Again, 67TB7YR9. I wonder how these codes are actually developed. So let's get moving. So here's the card that we're going to be recreating today, and this is what I consider a fun fold. And like the other cards that we've been working with today, it's based on an A4 size card. So here's what it looks like in the finished, and then we'll turn it like this. Now, I have to admit, as I was putting together all my samples last night, I had a momentary lapse of judgment, and I actually cut this the wrong direction. And so I knew that this was just my sample card, so I actually did a little surgery on my card. So don't replicate this part. Do not. You want to just do this part, the pretty part. So we're going to make it the correct way today. So we're going to set this aside, and we're going to start this. Now, the way we begin this card is, like many of our other cards, you're going to start with an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. Hey, Susie. Susie, I loved your card earlier today. You're going to start with an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and you're going to cut it at 4.5 inches across, which is half of a card. Now, you'll notice that it's been scored at 5.5. We're also going to score it at 2 3/4. 2 3/4 is half of 5.5. Don't believe me? Do the math. Otherwise, just trust me. So we are going to take our bone folder and crease this one more time to give a good, nice, good finish on it. And then we'll fold this back over on itself right here. This just sets up the basis of our card, and that's the basis of the fun fold. Now, the key to this card is using the Designer Series paper to embellish the card, because you're leaving it open, and so you want to make it pretty no matter what you see when you open it up. So the first thing we're going to do is take a piece of Designer Series paper. This is from Trimming the Town, and this is one of those sets that is on sale for 15% off, and this is a great set. I love this set. Now, if you wanted something a little more subdued, obviously you could leave it with just the stripes here, but I like the little pictures of the town. So we will apply that to the inside of our card. Now remember, Susie and Mir, to be sure and comment on the video if you want to be entered into the drawing that we will be doing at the end of the day. So there's that piece. And obviously this Trimming the Town set has so many cute patterns that you can do this with any number of things. So the next thing to do is going to be, all right, we're going to cut this at, let's see, this is half of the card front. And so this will be 4 1/8 this direction by 2 5/8 this direction. So 4 1/8 by 2 5/8. I will have a PDF, and like I said, if you order from me, reach out to me. I can get you the PDF with all of the measurements of the cards that we're making today. So we're going to attach this here, but before we attach that, we're not going to do that yet because we may come back and decide to put a piece of ribbon on. This is these are 2 of the ribbons that come with the suite when you buy. The suite is actually the paper, the stamps, the dies, all of the things that come in a single product suite. So we have a single number if you like everything on the page. And so these are 2 of the ribbons. And again, it's Old Olive and Poppy Parade. So let's set that aside for a second because we're going to actually make this other piece that goes in the front of the card. This piece of blue is cut at 3 3/4 by 2 3/4, and this will go here. And so the piece of white is cut by 3 5/8 and 2 5/8. All you've done is you've taken the 2 1/4 by 3 1/4 and you've trimmed it down 1/8 on both the top and the side, or the y-axis and the x-axis. So for the stamping, we're going to be using the Tag Buffet set. This actually comes, this is manufactured to be used a kit. So if you're interested in the least bit in the Tag Buffet, it is a fun kit to make together. And so this sentiment is really nice. It's the "May the good times of today become the cherished memories of tomorrow. Wishing you lots of love, joy, and happiness." All right, this is a photopolymer stamp, and as such, there is no padding here. So what we're going to want to do is get our stamp, our foam pad out, and stamp on that so that we have plenty of give to make sure we have a good impression. So open up our Poppy Parade, and then instead of dropping this to the bottom like I did on the sample, I'm going to bring this up more to the center, and I'm just going to hope and pray it's straight because I don't want to stand up and put my head over everything. And there we go. So that's finished. Now, before we do anything else, we're going to also, actually it's a little to the top, but that's okay. And while we've got this out, we're going to go ahead and stamp our holly berries onto our card. Now, I am going to put a piece of paper behind because I don't want to get ink on my mat if I can help it. So stamp, and we'll put holly berries there. And I've stamped off a little bit on both of these edges just because I think it adds a little bit more personality. If everything were to be perfect and fit just exactly so, I don't know that it would be realistic. So, and then we're going to do another set down here. Now, you have a couple of options at this point. You can either take this real red, excuse me, the Poppy Parade, and come back and stamp your holly berries and see how they are. They're just nice little holly berries that would work perfectly if you wanted to stamp them up here. But we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to add some dimension to this. In the suite that I mentioned earlier, we have the, let me find the name of them, all the trimmings, embellishments. And so these are similar to epoxy dots. And so we have, in this kit, we have white dots, red dots, bumblebee stars, small white and small red dots. So what we will do is take our pick tool, and I'm going to pick up some of these small dots to use as my holly berries because I think they're really pretty. And they add a little bit of dimension to what we're doing. So we'll add 3 there. I haven't looked at my holly trees outside yet to see if they're starting to set berries, but I suspect that with the cool weather we've had, we might start seeing that coming about. I don't know. Has anybody else given much thought to what they think the winter forecast is going to be? Is it going to be drier than normal, wetter than normal, cooler, warmer? You know, it's 2020, so there's no telling what's going to happen, to be honest with you. So now that we've had that, so we've gotten a little bit more dimension and a little bit of interest on this piece. So we'll set our embellishments aside. Put our pick tool away. By the way, if you don't have one of these Take a Pick tools, these are great. These have all sorts of tools. I love this end right here because I use it to get my embellishments off. But this is also a great piece to use that sometimes I use it to get things off of my stamp embossing machine, the acrylic plates. That sometimes helps. And that just locks in here like this. And then on the other end, when I'm picking up pieces that have been, like if I'm using sequins on a card, this adhesive right here, it's a little, so just a little cartridge, and it fits in just like so, and there's a little adhesive in there, and you can tighten it down, and that is just enough to pick up sequins or small embellishments that aren't otherwise, don't have adhesive on it, and it just snaps on that. But this end is refillable, and then there's also a third implement that you can get that fits into this tool that's used for using a little brush mark to get your die cuts cleaned out when you have a lot of intricate die cuts. All right, so let's set this pad aside. We'll put this back here. So we'll mat this on the blue cardstock. Now this is Misty Moonlight. This is one of our 2020 to 2022 in colors. I mentioned earlier today that we maintain four color families, plus we have 2 different sets of in colors that rotate over a 2-year period. So for right now, we have our in colors from 2019 to 2021. They go from the summer of 19 through the summer of 21. Our terracotta, tile, rococo rose, purple posy, peacock, pretty peacock, and then a blue one, and I can't remember the name of the blue one. Sea mist, soft sea mist maybe. And then the colors that we have going forward from 2020 to 2022 include Magenta Madness, which I used in the previous session, Cinnamon Cider, which I used in session number 2, Just Jade, Misty Moonlight, which is this color right here, and Bumblebee, which is, as you would expect, yellow. It's beautiful. So let's look at this for a minute. Let's see, do we want to add any adhesive, it's not adhesive, excuse me, any ribbons here? Now, we could add the red, but there's going to be a lot of red on here. So I'm going to recommend that we add a little bit of the green here. So let me show you. This is a little trick that my friend Elizabeth has taught me. So you want to tie a ribbon, and so this is designer series paper, and so you don't want to really tie it because you could tighten it up more than you want. So one of the easiest things you can do is flip your paper over, and I'm just going to put a little tab of adhesive there and there, and then I'm just going to put the end of the ribbon right on the adhesive. That sticks it down, and then I'm going to flip it over, make sure I don't twist it, keeping the cardstock or the DSP from buckling or warping. And there you have a little piece right here. Now, what the key is, we're going to come back with our adhesive, and we're going to put this on this flap right here. And so that's nice like that. Now this is going to be adhered right here. So it's going to hang over because when you open this card, you're going to see this. You'll still have room in here to answer, to sign your card. But for those of us that don't say much on our Christmas cards, this is great because you don't have to say much. You don't have to write a whole lot there. But likewise, you could even, if you wanted to, you could write on both of these pieces right here. So let's go ahead and adhere this. And then we will center this on there, just like so. So then flip it over, there you go. And then what I'm going to do is take a piece of this green. This is Old Olive again, and instead of actually tying all the way around the paper, we're just going to take this and tie it in a little knot right like this. And snip that edge right there, Snip that edge right there. And so you got a little bit of personality for your card. So there you have a very simple fun fold card using the Trimming the Town DSP. And it gives you a simple, and you know, the other thing you could do is take this and adhere a family photo. You could do any number of things with this. I can also see this layout being used, this pattern being used for birthdays, because this would be a fun thing to do for a birthday card or any other sort of card that you could do with a two-part sentiment. All right. Thanks so much for joining me. Again, it's World Card Making Day, and we are making cards with people from all over the world, literally all over the world. Australia, Europe, Japan, the United States, obviously North America, Canada. So keep an eye out for information on the DSP discounts. We've got 15 sets that are discounted. And if you are interested, be sure and check out dreamingcolor72207.com. Use the October host code if you want to order, or order obviously from your favorite demonstrator. And remember that in 14 minutes at the top of the hour, Elizabeth will be at Spreadjoy Stamping will be doing her next. Great rest of the weekend. Enjoy it. Thanks, Mira. I appreciate that. I hope you have a great rest of the weekend. And remember, you've made the cards, so we need to send the cards. All right, toodles. Have a great time. Bye-bye.